Welcome to our brief overview and introduction of Aquarius web portal. My name is Tom. I'll be your guide for this little session. Let's talk about web portal. In the Aquarius time series system, the system that ingests and does quality assurance and transformation of your environmental data, the intended user for that is generally a data specialist who understands the data, who knows what's good and bad, how to do transformations, etc. But you generally have a much bigger audience for your environmental data than just some data specialists. You have lots of constituencies, perhaps environmental groups, perhaps the government, perhaps the public, and others who want to see that data, but you need to be able to present that to them in a contextualized way and in a safe way that you can be sure of publishing it and that the right data, the appropriate data, gets the appropriate audience on demand whenever they want. This is where Aquarius web portal comes in. Here we see the Aquarius portal main screen. As you can see, it's a map-enabled display where the different points on your system are located on a map. But Aquarius's main function really is to produce charts, alerts, dashboards, etc., to let your audiences see the data in a way that's appropriate to them. So here we see, for example, discharge across the United States and parts of Canada. We see that we can create legends for different colors, for different conditions of this data. This is all completely configurable in the system. We can add additional informational layers from third-party sources, such as here, NOAA precipitation forecast for multiple days. Such GIS layers are really easily integrated into the Aquarius portal system. And I mentioned its main function is really to let you create charts and dashboards really quickly. We can see an example of this. I can simply select a few points on the map, and I can say send to chart. And the system will draw me a beautiful little graph immediately from that data. I can edit this data if I'm logged in and save the data. Share that data with other people. I can change the time axes as a user on this data, so we can go from latest data to yearly data, etc. very, very quickly. We can go back a year and see data from the previous year very, very quickly, as the system very quickly reaches out to Aquarius time series to pull the data from the Aquarius time series system. We can edit the chart, change its characteristics, how we want to graph things, colors, and more. So it's a really excellent charting system. We can also create dashboards and save charts. We can export data if you grant permission to do that. Now let's take a look at some dashboards right now. The best way that I can think of looking at what the sort of capabilities for dashboarding and charting on Aquarius web portal are is our little around the world tour of actual portal instances and dashboards that show you in a variety of ways the kind of ways people around the world are using the portal system to display, contextualize, in other words, publish their data. So this data that these sites I'm about to show you and all the data is publicly available on the internet. All people involved in this have chosen of their own free will to make this data available. We're simply collecting these links, and we have a very nice and interesting collection of our clients using web portal. Let's start with Cairns in Australia, on the northeast coast of Australia, near the Barrier Reef, a well-known tourist and summering spot. This is mostly a water quality site. We see here they have chosen to show us these locations on this map. Here are the parameters that they have chosen to show us, the general public. In all cases, this is public data. You can see here we're not signed in. This is what's called simply the public mode of portal, which is an option that you can choose to have. But if I had signed in, I might get a different view because portal is very flexible. I make it a different map. I might get more parameters to see. I might get different legends, but this is the public side. They have a number of dashboards for water quality. Here are the current readings for various water quality parameters. This is what's called a dashboard in portal, and these little display things are called widgets. They come with the portal system. A variety of display widgets come with the portal system, including full dials, half dials, these kind of grids and others. And you can make your own widgets. If you're handy with JavaScript and HTML, you can make your own widgets and include them in the system. Then you can assemble them into dashboards. And the great thing about dashboards is that you can assign permissions to dashboards. Who can see what? This group of people, everyone, just a specific person. That's the great feature of a dashboard. Each display widget is tied to a particular time series that is in their time series system. So things like latest pH, latest water temperature, latest dissolved oxygen are all tied to time series that are collecting data on an ongoing basis and showing it for you. The colors of these dials and what they mean are left up to the client. They can configure their own. And here you see they have a different color scheme here. Here we have data coming from not just a dial, but a historical data. And they also have median information. So now you see the last 30 days. And this is an example of a calculated time series where Aquarius time series is on an ongoing basis calculating 30-day medians for these parameters. And then these widgets and the dashboard is connected to these things and they're ready to be displayed. So that's an interesting little site there. Another site that I really like is Panama Canal. The Panama Canal itself is a time series and portal user. They are very interested in rainfall statistics on their dashboards. So you see here, they lead with rainfall information. They're also bringing in this information from radar from third-party sites. So Portal also provides you with the ability to have widgets that kind of, it's called wrap an external data source. These data sources are outside of the Aquarius system, as are these data sources. And this, again, is another widget that is included with Portal. So you can see here they're doing comparisons of how previous years compare to current years. Another interesting feature that you can do. And they have other dashboards. They have here, they have rivers and other sort of things that they want you to see in their dashboards. Here you are. They also have a very nice map where you can see the Panama Canal with different rain features. We can look at some interesting stuff. I know monthly data from last year. Can quickly go back to 2023 in November. And we can take a look at the data in November because we had a lot of variety of rainfall then. So you see here these legends that they've created and put together. This is all their configuration. So you can see what's going on with each. By the way, you can get an alert for any data condition that you define. So for example, if they had a high rainfall condition or whatever it is they want to do, if they chose, they could get a text or an SMS message alert very specifically formatted for that issue. The system also supports what are called heat maps using inverse distance square IDW type algorithms, which can be tuned in the system, and you can get an idea of how your data is changing over geographical areas using a method like this. So that's kind of a fun site. Another site I like to look at is State of Idaho, Idaho Power Web Portal. Idaho has a lot of hydroelectric power. So here's Idaho. Here's the sites they're monitoring. And their dashboards have kind of a standardized format where you see where a dam is, you get a photograph of the dam, and then you get a widget showing you some current parameters of the dam. In this case, the current discharge over the last week. Here we are on the 15th of March, and we're going 7 days back. We can have some notes. We can look at other dams. See, there it is, another location, another photograph. Again, more flows and what's going on there, 3-day inflow, etc. So another interesting way that they're using the system to create kind of a standardized public viewing portal. British Columbia, Ministry of the Environment. They have an interesting map of British Columbia. And here you can see that you can see more than just numbers necessarily. They have separated the main view by location type, so that you can see easily which are, for example, the water quality of groundwater sites or snow sites. You can decide whether to show these values like the labels or not. And we can create things like operated by. Who is this site operated by? And again, you can see all the different organizations managing British Columbia's water supply. So Portal can do more than just monitor numbers. You can also see that you can put together interesting presentations of management and so forth and so on. And you can go and see more. Here is Australia, Sunshine Coast, more graphs, Bay of Plenty, also down the South Pacific, City of Orlando. City of Orlando has got a lot of lakes in Orlando. Orlando is a city just chock full of lakes. So they built dashboards for each lake so you can see what different characteristics of the lake are that they want to show you, daily rainfall totals, etc. So that was just like a little quick around the world tour just to show you how flexible and configurable the portal system is. Let's take a look at a couple of other features of how you can contextualize your data. Let's look at a data set here, a site called AI001. This is actually a real USGS site in the United States. This is using publicly available data from the USGS. And here we have stage data for the year 2023. And we can create bands to show us what is going on with that data. In here, this case, we have, minor, moderate, and major rises. We can create things that to do with safety. Is it safe to visit the site? Waitable, not waitable, don't go here. The water's too high. Daily stage change, major, moderate rises, etc., as an example. And you can compare this data to historicals. The system will do historical comparisons for you based on percentiles, and you can define the way those percentiles run. So those are quite, could be quite powerful and interesting, and you could just share these links with people as long as they have permission to see that link. You can share this data very readily. The system has excellent data export capabilities. Again, if you choose to let people export data from the system, you can create what are called export templates. So for example, if I go click on this, it automatically fills in information about how often I should be getting this data, whether I'm creating multiple or single files, the precision, grade codes, the actual time series that are to be displayed. And you can just literally copy this to clipboard and send this to someone. And if they click on the link and they have permission, the system just, boom, produces it. So this is the example of exports. Again, everything is configurable. So you do not have to give people permission for dashboards or for exports or whatever. It all depends on how you want to create the system, how you want to set it up. And you can decide what kind of maps, for example, you want people to see. We have world topography here, all different maps. These are coming from Esri, but you can use your own, if you have in-house GIS systems, you can use your own in-house GIS systems to produce layers, like these NOAA layers that we had mentioned before. These are coming from external sources as well. So the system is extremely configurable, extremely GIS aware, and in general is a great way of publishing your data easily and on an on-demand basis for the clientele for your data. Well, thank you for your attention on this. I hope you found this presentation informative, and we encourage you to get in touch with us with any questions you may have, or if you want to see more. Thank you.